G'day everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Crypto. I'm Craig Cobb, your host of this show and founder of TraderCobb.com, the cryptocurrency trading education. I'm the dude who's got 14 years trading experience in traditional markets, foreign exchange, bonds, FX, I already said that, commodities and you name it. Now I focus most of my attention, nearly all of it actually, on cryptocurrency and these digital assets. Why? Because the volatility is absolutely insane. So, what's gone on this week? Well, of course, this week is the week of the halving. Once every 4 years or so, Bitcoin's halving occurs. And I want to look into that and see what it did and talk to you a little bit about the reaction that the market had. It's reacted more or less the way I was hoping for it to do so. I'll have to see if we get some follow through from here. So what did the halving cause? When did it happen? I believe it was Monday, my time, 5 a.m. or perhaps it was Tuesday. I can't remember exactly. Look here. This was the Sunday candle, so that must have been Monday. Look, whooshka. A big fall. This candle, where it opened to where it closed, to its lowest, 16%. And that was a very, very fast and abrupt move to the downside of Bitcoin. Now, if you recall any of my videos recently on my YouTube channel, for which you're watching now, what you'll have a look at there, and subscribe, by the way, and turn on the notifications, by the way, because you'll see some good trading information in there for free. What it did was a real quick bounce down of 8,000. It wasn't outside of the realms of possibility. I've been speaking about that for a little while. What it has done from there was, here's the halving date, spiky spiky all over the shop, very, very messy, and it wrecked the charts for the beginning of the week. Now, this is what was going on around the halving event. When I went to bed, we were up to here, then we went, bam, sold off hard, and we've since climbed back with some pretty nice price action throughout the week, thus far being overwhelmingly more bullish than bearish. And as we can see represented on this weekly candle, we're up about 9.5% or about 9%. We've come off just a little bit recently. So what does that mean? Well, I said I wasn't going to trade this. I wasn't going to trade around the halving. Why? Well, when I was trading traditional markets like foreign exchange, I knew when there was non-farm payrolls, when there was GDP, PPI, all these different news items that would come out on the higher echelon of importance. I was aware of when they were occurring, and I would trade the windows leading up to these particular events. So I wasn't going to trade the actual news. Now, because there's not very much relevant news in crypto as far as future reporting and whatnot, like AGMs for equities and earnings and whatnot, the only true hard date that we have is our halving. And that's still not even a hard date. It's pretty, it's pretty well over 4 years, but it can change slightly. So it's not a hard date. So I took the same methodology, which is to not trade around those news announcements, not trade around those major things, because speculation does creep in. And of course, we do often see moves just like we saw, which was a big messy one. So has Bitcoin recovered from that point? Well, certainly looks like it, doesn't it? What's next for Bitcoin? Well, the next level is 10,000. This is the first pullback in this push higher. There have been some trades this week. For those of you who have been following me and follow my trading strategies, there's been a couple of nice cradles that have worked out very, very well, and we almost had a nice little breakout trade back here earlier in the week. This is the trade of the week, and then another one up here as well. So it's been a pretty good little week for those active out there in the Trader Cobb community. Now, let's get into some of the other news as well, looking at Bitcoin, because it's really had a resurgence of populace, leading around this halving event. I'm not talking about just news in the crypto space. I'm talking about mainstream news. Now come with me for a walk down this page. Right, have a look at this. Investopedia, Bitcoin, independent.co.uk, Bitcoin, The Australian, Bitcoin, The Conversation, Bitcoin, newsnow.co.uk, Bitcoin, and you can see there's a lot more. If you've looked at this before, you'll note that there's a lot more activity now in some of the more mainstream news media. And with other markets starting to look a little bit shaky once again, and of course us being gripped in the global financial world by COVID-19, still, with many businesses still not opening, with some restrictions lifting, but certainly it is not over yet. So wash your hands, stay inside, and stay safe, stick to those regulations. We have a lot more potential upside for Bitcoin here as the halving is out of the way. That nervousness of what's going to happen around it has passed on, I would suspect. we've certainly seen a follow through of buyers. And if other markets do not, if they're a bit hesitant, a little bit shaky, then I think that we might have the perfect storm for Bitcoin. That being said, if the markets do fall, people might also sell out of Bitcoin to cover losses elsewhere or to pay their bills. So it's a double-edged sword. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I do know that more information out there around Bitcoin is definitely a good thing for the space. So here's the Australian Financial Review. That is our business news, more or less. And as you can see here, in stark contrast to dollars, euros and yen being printed out of thin air, as US, European and Japanese central banks look over the growth abyss into the growth chasm gouged into their economies by COVID-19. What they're talking about here is Bitcoin not having something that you can continually print. It's not the inflation rate or addition of the new supply that hodlers, only long-term hodlers, care about. It's the prospect of a big rally that has many rubbing their hands together. Now that just feeds into the whole let's make money thing. Let's make money quick. Let's get involved in Bitcoin this time. People will, at this stage, when they see this is why I think it's positive, go, oh, Bitcoin's still around? Huh, okay. And seeing what it's doing now and the way things are being spoken of, I think that we should see some more coming in here. Of course, they also talk about history, hoping that history repeats. Those who have followed Bitcoin since its early days know the past halvings have been lucrative money-making opportunities. So the people reading the Financial Review, guess what? They are looking for money-making opportunities. Why? Well, because their businesses probably aren't doing so well. Their tenants are probably getting discounted rent for their investment properties. Business will be down. There's a lot of things that are not going their way right now, with stocks being down, currencies being hit, and an overall downturn going on. Even if they were to put a little bit of their wealth into Bitcoin, well, it could go a very long way for you and me in the market, and for them as well. So it's a very big positive. Now, we come to CoinDesk right now. First state-owned entity, yes. Telegram, yada, 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 yada. Price up 12% since the halving. We're talking about that. It's been spoken of an awful lot as well. There's just a huge amount going on out there in the space, but it is Bitcoin that is dominating. And you know what? I don't mind that at all, okay? I don't mind that at all, because Bitcoin is the glamour girl, the glamour boy of our market. It's the big dog, okay? It's the one that people get excited about. It's the one that people know, and it's the one that will hit press around the world, as we have just seen. All right, so I'm just showing you again, running through here, much of what this is about Bitcoin. A lot of it, especially up on the first pages, is Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin. And I want to take you back and show you something when we flip back around on this in just a minute. Kim Jong-un may be using stolen crypto to offset economic fallout. I don't like those sorts of pieces of news items. Why? Because it doesn't put anything positive of a spin onto our space. Okay, now if you look across here, we want to talk about some of the things going on at CoinMarketCap. By the way, probably not a bad idea to go over there. Yours truly has an article in there this week talking about risk management. Here it is. Let me show you. CoinMarketCap.com. Hit the blog, and then what you can do is go la-di-da-di-da, a crypto trader's view on managing risk. Hello, that is me. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so let's jump back across here. Again, like I was saying, CMC has been taken by Binance. I'm not sure if the transaction has actually occurred and the handover has occurred yet. CoinMarketCap initially rejected the metric that now puts Binance at number 1. Okay, so we're seeing the true volume coming through apparently. I wouldn't surprise me at all to see that Binance is the highest volume provider of market out there. It really doesn't at all. It makes perfect sense, as it is a very, very large exchange. One of the things I will say is that it's good at some things, it's not good at other things. So be careful and know what you're looking for. But as you can see here, this stands in stark contrast to the words of CoinMarketCap's Chief Strategy Officer and Acting CEO Carolyn Chan, who said in a podcast interview late last year that web traffic was not a good indicator. Now, of course, that's coming after it was dealt by web traffic as a key metric. So very interesting to see. Are we going to see Binance? Now, we covered this story a couple of weeks back when the information about CZ coming and taking over, or Binance taking over CMC, as being a smart play. I find it kind of interesting here. Are we going to see a dictatorship evolve here where Binance buys and owns the space? It would be very lucrative for them, but it kind of goes against what we see as being positive for our space. Aside from this, guys, it's all been Bitcoin this week. And I want to take you back to finish up on the Bitcoin dominance chart because I think it is important here, given the context that we've just gone through and had a look at what is across the market. If I just show this to you now, here we have Bitcoin dominance. It is a rough market cap percentage indication of the how much Bitcoin is the entire market cap. And you can see here leading into the halving event, look at this, running. And don't forget, the information in the news out there right now might provide us with a follow through of buying. But there was also reporting going on prior to Bitcoin's halving event and prior to it being over. This is what we can see here. The truth is, right now we've got Bitcoin sitting at 68.09% of the entire market capitalization. And speaking of market capitalization, we're sitting at roughly $258 billion. And of that, 174 billion is Bitcoin. I'm going to look for some news around Tether in the coming week, see if I can't find out a little bit more information about this so I can report back to you all again next week. Guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. There's some pretty cool stuff coming out. Find me on Twitter at TraderCobb, as well on Facebook, and I look forward to finding you working with me and seeing your comments below of what you want to see and learn more about. Guys, have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com. Bye for now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.